Oral questions. Questions orales. The honourable member for Halifax.
Français sont avec les gens de Moncton. Monsieur le Président, hier, le ministre de la Justice nous a dit que le gouvernement donnerait suite aux modestes recommandations du comité visant à améliorer la qualité de vie des anciens combattants. Pour donner suite à ces recommandations, il faut des nouveaux investissements. Alors, concrètement, combien de millions supplémentaires seront ajoutés au budget du ministère pour améliorer la qualité de vie des anciens combattants et celle de leurs proches qui leur viennent en aide?
Mr. Speaker, again, I reference the unanimous report that came from the Veterans Committee, which speaks directly to the level of support and cooperation that exists to continue to support our veterans, their families, those that have served our country in uniform. We have established a record over the last 8 years of having been very committed to the needs and to the support of veterans. The $4.7 billion in additional funding that has been made available to them, the efforts that have been made to support those suffering from post-traumatic stress. I hear the member opposite chirping. Mr. Speaker, this is an issue that we've taken very seriously from the moment that we took office, and we continue to support veterans.
The honourable member for Halifax.
Well, the Conservatives love to boast, but they're the ones that have a record of closing offices and refusing to meet with veterans. Closing offices have left those in need seeing staff at Service Canada who have little experience on these issues. They're calling a 1-800 number, or they're travelling long distances to one of the few remaining offices that are open. Conservatives keep claiming that they're ready to act on committee recommendations. But how?
I just want to remind members that any parliamentary secretary or minister can answer the question, but they just have to wait till the question's been put. And I'd ask them to hold off on any kind of comment until the question's been asked. And then, if they absolutely can't refrain from speaking, perhaps they can seek the floor for me to recognize them to answer the question, but not until the question's finished being put. The honourable member for Halifax.
Mr. Speaker, Conservatives keep claiming that they're ready to act on committee recommendations, but how can they expect Canadians and veterans to trust them to help our most vulnerable vets when the minister keeps cutting basic services?
The honourable Minister of Justice.
Speaker, sadly, that is factually incorrect. We've, in fact, expanded services as recently as this week with more services available for those that are using service animals, Mr. Speaker. We've, of course, in terms of direct services, we have now available across the country 600 points of contact for veterans and their families. Mr. Speaker, we've invested, as I mentioned before, $4.7 billion in additional funding to ensure that veterans are having the in-home care and the most direct services that go to their needs. Mr. Speaker, we've extended numerous compassionate efforts to see that veterans' cares are being looked after in every way.